Hello, Teacher Lindsay here with VIPKID. Today I'm going to show you some tips that will help you pass the demo as well as the mock certification lessons. We're going to go over 5 simple tips that you can apply into any lesson that will help you do a really great job. Tip number 1, you need 4 different types of props. I always recommend a whiteboard so you can write things, you can show things. If you have magnetic letters, those help as well. Prop 2, you can have a 2D prop like a sad face and a happy face. Okay, so you can use some 2D props to help you. You can also use 3D props. I like to have lots of food on hand and bowls, different types of things to help show the student what we're learning about. Another prop that you need, don't have to have, but it's really great to help, especially with conversation, is a puppet. Now, you could use a puppet, and if you don't have a puppet, you could always use a stuffed animal to help with dialogue. How are you? I am fine. To kind of get the students to see how you're talking back and forth and how they're supposed to respond to you. The second major tip is that any of the vocabulary words on the slides that you see in red need to be repeated 2 times. So I would say sad. Good job. Sad. Yes, awesome. Tip number 3. Now this tip is very, very important, and it's going to change depending on what student you have. You always need to get them to speak incomplete sentences. So if they say, I sad, you need to say, I am sad. Good job. That way you can hear them. Make sure they're repeating everything in complete sentences. And that starts at the beginning when you say, what is your name? Mike. I am Mike. Good job. So always correcting their errors. Make sure that you're getting them to speak in those complete sentences. That's very important. Also pay attention to grammatical errors. Maybe they say, I see a apple. You want to make sure you correct them. I see an apple. And get them to speak in the correct grammatical. And tip number 5. On tip number 5, I would say you definitely need to have extension. Whether it's extension with the slides or extension with your reward system, teaching them new words. Something like ball. I see a ball. What do you see? Good job. Awesome. Just asking them questions, getting them to speak in complete sentences. And they may not right at the beginning. You might have to help them. You might have to model it for them and then let them repeat for you at the beginning. But as they get used to it, then it's really amazing. And the conversations you can have with these kids are incredible. As you start doing your demo lesson and your mock certification lessons and teaching in the classroom, don't forget these 5 tips. Using 4 different types of props, not just 4 2D props, but 4 different types of props. So you might want 2D and 3D and your whiteboard. Remember also vocabulary words that are in red need to be repeated at least 2 times. Okay, if the student's struggling with it, you may need to repeat it another time, but at least 2 times. Always get the student to speak in complete sentences and get them, correct any mistakes that they're making in their either pronunciation or in their grammar. Make sure that you're correcting everything. Have a reward system, something fun that the kids are going to like. So maybe if it's a younger kid, you might give the dog a bone. If it's an older kid, maybe you're giving them money and asking them what they want to buy with their money. And then you want to have an extension, some type of questions or things based off the slides or based off of your reward system, so that way they can